Oh, up 7
Ooh.
spots. The Kansas City
Time is a
Chiefs.
flat circle.
Oh, all the way up to number 1. Frank, this is our big reaction. We pulled up the Chiefs because you just finally admitted that they're too good to stop.
Very true. Yes. And then they played the Raiders. Oh my goodness. I can't even, I usually wish I was with you anytime, Fitz. I love hanging out with you. I'm glad I was not with you on Sunday. That would have been, boy, I don't, there's not enough consoling in the world for how the Raiders got beat on Sunday. But what I think it really showed was, yes, the Chiefs are the one team in a circle of trust right now. The one team where if you're like, look, give me one team you think's going to Super Bowl. You can only give me one. Who wouldn't say the Chiefs at this point? They just look like a different team with Worthy back, with Rice back. Mahomes is playing on another level. I said this on Inside Coverage yesterday that while realizing exactly the seriousness of which I say this might be the best Patrick Mahomes has ever played. And I know there's been MVPs and greatest seasons ever, but he just is so dialed in with a team that doesn't have Tyreek Hill, doesn't have a prime Travis Kelce. He's just playing so well. And, you asked me last week, like, why were the Chiefs down at 8? I didn't have a great reason other than a record, and I never do power rankings by record. I do it based on, hey, I think these are the best teams, and records sometimes don't reflect that. The Chiefs' 4-3 record does not reflect that. This is the best team in football right now.
To that point, Frank, walk me through how you then rank 2 through 4. Like, how do you differentiate what we've seen from the Lions, Colts, and Eagles?
It's very tough. I have so much respect for what the Lions do especially when they're at their top gear. I don't know what happened. You can't ignore that. Two of their games are double-digit losses, right? Like that. It's tough to just gloss over that. But it was at the Packers, who were just really, really hot that day. It was at the Chiefs when they didn't have either starting cornerback. Okay, you lost to my number 1 team on the road. There's nothing wrong with that. And you see it from the Lions defensively. Last night they look great. Offensively, when they're humming, they're as good as anybody. I really respect the Lions. I like what they do. And then the Colts, I'm just a hater. I'm sorry. I realize the Colts probably should be number 1. They easily, why aren't they at least number 2? I get that. They just destroyed the Chargers on Sunday. All they keep doing is looking like one of the best teams of football, but I'm still so hesitant on getting them any higher. And then the Eagles, if we're being honest, if we're doing like everybody was saying the sky's falling with the Eagles, they're a 5-2 team with the best record or best roster in football, right? Like this, we know the Eagles are going to be there at the end of the day. And I was really impressed with what they did to the Vikings. Passing game came around. I thought the defense played really well. So that's kind of the thought process through all of those. Like, I usually say, I usually do it at the tiebreaker anyway. If team A and team B played on a neutral field, who would I pick? I'd pick the Eagles over the Colts, but I think the Colts at least deserve the spot they're in right now.
To the point about the Colts, I have somebody that reaches out to me every single week on Twitter after the Colts continue to win and is like, you believe in them yet?
Right.
You believe in them yet? You ready to apologize to Daniel Jones yet? And I'm like, I just can't do it.
That club is getting small. No, that club is getting smaller, Caroline. It might just be me and you who are waiting to give the Colts all their flowers.
That's a good party, though. I hang out in the party with you.
Happy to be here with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's move on to 5 through 8. Buffalo Bills at 5. The Packers at 6. Frank, the Denver Broncos were down 19-0. It took a 33-point fourth quarter from the Broncos to beat the Giants at home on Demaryius Thomas Day. What are the Broncos doing at number 7?
The Broncos are getting to be one of those teams that is the toughest for me to rank because I look at them 2 ways. And I think, again, talked about this on Inside Coverage last night. Both of these things are absolutely true. If the Broncos don't have a leverage penalty at the Colts team that everybody loves, they beat the Colts on the road. They lost at the Chargers with no time left on the clock. You could easily tell yourself a story where the Broncos are 7-0 right now with the best defense in football. Very easy, right? But also, they're a team that needed a miracle to beat the Giants, had to rally in the fourth quarter to beat the Eagles. Probably would have lost in London had they been playing anybody other than the Jets. Had they been playing a real NFL team, they probably would have lost that game. So I don't know what to do with the Broncos. I know I want to be high on them because I do think this Broncos team is going to come around. Sean Payton's too good of a coach to have a bad offense all year. And that offense has been bad. Awesome in the fourth quarter. Maybe they use that as a springboard. I don't know. But I think this Broncos team is going to get on a roll. So I wanted to be high on them. I wanted to stay high on them. I did Denver radio this week. Obviously, I'm based in Colorado. Denver radio informed me that last week I was the highest of any power ranker on the Broncos. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to pull that back a little bit. And you know what? Trailing 19-zip at home in the fourth quarter against the Giants, you didn't play a great game. You got a great win, a fun win, but you didn't play a great game. So I had to knock them down a little bit, but I still think I believe in this team. I think they're going to be better than the consensus has them.
Are you, because we see the name Seattle at 8. We haven't seen, I don't know, the Rams yet. Sneak peek, we might get to them in a minute. You really think the Seahawks are the 8th best? Like, you're betting your money on a neutral field for Seattle over teams like, I don't know, the Rams?
Yep, absolutely. They're a flag plant team for me this season. I believe in Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are the underrated team of the NFL right now. I think Sam Darnold's playing at a high level. Like, he made a couple really dumb mistakes. And goodness, never run that Cooper Kupp pass again, Seattle. Never. Put that in the far reaches of the playbook. Just tear that page out of the playbook. Leave it out. Like, I don't want to see Cooper Kupp throwing any more passes. They really just struggled to put away the Texans yesterday, but still beat a team with a really good defense. The Seattle's defense is really, really good. Yes, Seattle's one of those teams I'm happy to be higher on than everybody else. I purposely put them higher than they probably quote unquote should be. Because yes, I believe in the Seattle team. I think if I'm being honest, if I'm doing like an honest power rankings where nothing matters, nobody's going to see it, I probably have the Seahawks higher than 8. I think they're better than the 8th best team in football.
All right, well, let's call up the next grouping so we can get to those Rams because they got to be in here. 9 through 12. At 9, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, your biggest faller, down 8 spots. Woo! The Patriots at 10, Rams at 11. Rams. Okay, so how much of this for the Bucs is based on what we saw last night, based on who they're going to be moving forward? Like, where's the line on that?
Yeah, and it's tough because you lose to the Lions. Oh, well. Like, the Lions are a really, really good football team, right? But the Mike Evans injury is bad. And now you look back and you do say, okay, the Buccaneers couldn't live off of these 2-point wins every week, right? Like that's just, unless you're the 2024 Chiefs, that's not going to happen week after week after week. So I did knock them far back. A lot of that was the Evans injury. And a lot of that was just looking back and saying, yeah, this team was lucky to be only one loss going into last week. I could have knocked them down even further. The Rams are the one team. The Rams are the one team that I looked at and said, they're better than the 11th team. I know that. But who above them do I really want to put them ahead of? Like, I don't want to knock down the Patriots. I think the Patriots are legit. I think the Patriots, whatever the heck happened in week 1, Fitz, I have no idea. That's our weird outlier result from week 1. We get one every year. This year, it was the Raiders beating the Patriots. Since then, the Patriots are on a roll. They've won at the Bills. They've done everything you need to do to show you're a playoff team. Drake May looks like he might be an MVP candidate if they win that division. And might they win that division? They really might. Like the Patriots. So I didn't want to be low on the Patriots. The Rams got stuck. I realized the Rams are better than 11. They should be higher. I just didn't want to move anybody in my top 10 out of the top 10.
Well, but what about let me push back to one thing here, Frank, because part of what you're talking about with Tampa Bay is what the future looks like, right? Moving forward. Right. San Francisco's 5-2, and they've had like basically the three of us playing on that. They've been so decimated. Like, how is San Francisco not higher considering the fact that this is the JV version of the 49ers? It's 5-2.
I do get that. I have more faith in the Buccaneers offense overcoming the Mike Evans injury than I do of the 49ers getting over Fred Warner and Nick Bosa injuries. And I get they look great on Sunday night. Falcons' inconsistency, I think, played a lot in that. We'll see. We'll see on the 49ers defense going forward. I'm still skeptical that they can overcome these injuries. Robert Saleh's doing a heck of a job. Heck of a job as their defensive coordinator. Really respected what they flew around the ball on Sunday night. They did look good. I can't lie. But in the long term, I just don't. I don't think the 49ers can maintain this with that defense. I don't think it's going to be a very good defense this year.
We'll continue to get into the injury of it all because I think it is fascinating projecting looking forward versus what we have seen legitimately on the field. But let's look at your next group of rankings, 13 through 16, starting with the Chargers, the Bears, the Cowboys, and the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, Dallas Cowboys up 8 spots. Now, I know they absolutely obliterated the Commanders, but that was a Jaden Daniels list for a majority of that matchup against the Commanders. How do we evaluate this Dallas team? Because the defense stinks, the offense is elite.
Yeah, you get CeeDee Lamb back, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's very possible you can make the argument that the Dallas Cowboys have the best offensive football and the worst defensive football. What do you do with that? Where do you start with that? So I thought putting them right kind of in the middle was correct. There's a lot of people out there like, oh, Dak's an MVP candidate. The Cowboys are contenders. I'm not willing to go there. I don't even know if they make the playoffs, to be honest. But this offense is so good right now. Dak is so locked in that I did want to move them up. I do think they look great against the Commanders. Commanders injured. I get that. But still look very, very good. This offense is humming. They're going to outscore some teams this year. They're going to be a fun team to watch. And are they a little high right here? We'll see. There's a fascinating game. They play at the Broncos on Sunday afternoon. That's fascinating. I want to see, for many reasons, I want to see that game.
Frank, I say this with so much love. You have lost your damn mind. And not because, and both of you have, not because the Cowboys moved up 8. The Cowboys didn't move up far enough. The Cowboys are going to beat the Broncos this weekend, and it won't be close. No. I will gladly bet you a steak dinner of your choosing at the Super Bowl this year, because I'm sure we'll both be there for Yahoo. Steak dinner on the loser. The Cowboys are going to thump this Broncos team that is not worth a damn. They're just finding some cheesy way to win. And the Cowboys were sitting there finding some reason to discount it. That offense is too good. You want to tell me on a
2 weeks ago they lost to the Panthers. Come on.
You're telling
some reason to discount it,
Come
Fitz.
on.
The reason to discount it is their defense is trash.
The defense is trash. Absolute trash.
The Chargers don't have an offensive line. Like, the Chargers at this point might as well just put their center on and play flag football. Everybody's injured. You think the Chargers could hold back this Cowboys? No, the Cowboys defense may suck. I'll give you that. But they're going to not only
thanks.
They're going to win big They're going to win big this weekend. Big this weekend. And by the way, the Panthers are 4-3. Stop the Panthers disrespect.
The Panthers are. We'll get to the Panthers. I looked at that Panthers team and that record and said, no, you ain't moving up. Yeah, not to the front of the line yet, guys. Stay back.
Look, I hate everything.
You're on
about
this Cowboys
so
bandwagon, really?
I'm on this Cowboys bandwagon hard. This Cowboys offense
wins.
Defense wins championship. Offense wins games. They're going to the playoffs.
Before we move on to the next one, you bring up the Panthers. We're discounting the Panthers and just sloughing off the Panthers as like, yeah, that's cute. Get back in line. Okay, the Patriots have beaten the Saints, the Titans, like bad teams. Why are we
and who else? 2 weeks
ago doing the same thing? And the Panthers.
Caroline,
look, the
2
Panthers
weeks ago, we're just going to clout.
Cowboys.
You can't. We're not yada-ing the Bills win. We're not doing that. They won at Buffalo.
But the Panthers have beaten up on bad teams too. Look, yes, the Patriots have beaten the Bills at Buffalo, and we will give them credit for that. But we talked about the Patriots in last grouping. We haven't seen the Panthers yet. How big of a gap is it really between the Patriots and the Panthers based off of the teams that they've beaten?
Yeah, I think it's massive, and I think the Bills win validated everything the Patriots have done. And I look at Drake May, and I think we've all looked at Drake May and been like, oh, we have a superstar in the NFL now. He is ascending. He is, somebody asked me this week, like, where would you put Drake May among NFL quarterbacks? And I haven't done kind of the Rolodex. I haven't really ranked quarterbacks in my mind lately, but just passing, I thought I can't get him lower than number 8. I don't think there's 8 quarterbacks in the league better than Drake May. Whereas Bryce Young, I don't know. It's like they're just, the Panthers are fine. They're fine. They're good for them for being 4-3. I do not believe in that Panthers team. I do not believe in that Panthers team at all.
Wow. Of all the teams that I thought we'd be arguing about, I'm supporting a terrible, terrible defense. Like, this is where we are. Let's pull up the next grouping here. 17 through 20. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. By the way, Carolina Panthers still not represented. Pittsburgh Steelers at 17. The Baltimore Ravens, the 1-5 Baltimore Ravens, moved up 3 spots. They moved up 3 spots. The Jags and then the Commanders. Frank, what in the hell are we doing at this? Like, Frank's just out here like Charlie Day on Always Sunny with the big map, and he's just finding a spot to stick Baltimore. What are we doing?
I don't know if you heard this news, Fitz. It's a very low, radar guy, under the radar, low roster guy. But there's a guy like Lamar Jackson who's probably going to come back to the lineup this week. If I'm being look, I should have put the Ravens ahead of the Steelers because the Ravens are going to beat the Steelers for that division.
Oh my
The Ravens are going to the playoffs, and the Ravens are going to be the team in January nobody wants to play. Now, it's a tough way to live. You got to probably have to go on the road in the second and third rounds if you do win that division even. But the Ravens are 6.5-point favorites this week against the Bears. The odds makers haven't given up on the Ravens, and neither have I. I think this Ravens team is about to get really, really hot. I truly, honestly think, results be damned, I think this is a top 10 team in the NFL still. I'm going to die on this hill. I'm stubborn. I don't care. I think the Ravens are let's have this conversation in a month. That's all I'm going to say. Because the Ravens are not going to be 18. I'll tell you that. They're going to be like 6. They're going to come alive, and they're going to play really good ball in the second half.
Do the Ravens win this division?
Easily, yes. I think, look. Easily. The Ravens are going to win on Sunday. The Steelers are going to lose to the Packers. I think all of us would predict that. They're only 2 games behind the Steelers. They play the Steelers twice. They're going to beat the Steelers. Did you watch that Steelers defense last week? Joe Flacco, who's like 80 million years old, was just sitting there carving up the Steelers. What are the Steelers going to do when they play good quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson? Like that defense is not good. It's in trouble. I think the Steelers.
It's bad.
The Ravens. Not only do Ravens win that division, I don't think they're really going to be even sweating it in week 18.
Okay. I mean, that I hear you, but like, is there any concern for you that, all right, Lamar comes back and maybe, it's a hamstring, like maybe takes him a little bit to like Lamar, there's no wiggle room left. There's no room for error left. How many,
right.
Let's be honest, to win the division, what are they going to have to get to? 9 wins, 10 wins? What do you think? So if they have to get to 9 or 10 wins, they're going to have to go 8-4 the rest of the season to get get through this, to get to that spot.
As long as Lamar stays healthy, of course. If Lamar Jackson goes down, the Steelers win in that division, of course, or maybe the Bengals. Who knows? But yes, if Lamar Jackson's healthy for the duration, I think the Ravens are gonna, they're gonna win that division. They're like right behind them in the odds. Like the Steelers are at BetMGM, our friends at BetMGM. The Steelers are plus 125 to win a division. The Ravens are plus 135. The odds makers always let you know. They let you know. Yeah, if you want to get the Ravens right now plus money, do it because they're going to win that division.
There's not skyscrapers in the desert for nothing. But you bring up the Bengals. Let's get into the next group of teams. 21 through 24. We've got the Vikings at 21, Texans. Then my Carolina Panthers, who I will bang on the table for. Cincinnati Bengals at 24. You just mentioned that Steelers-Bengals game that we had in Thursday Night Football when we had the Unk Bowl better than the Super Bowl. Does Joe Flacco do anything for you?
No.
Could we see the Bengals skyrocket up even more in next week's power rankings?
No. Joe Flacco's Pro Football Reference page is a fun read because you look and you realize, wow, it has been almost a decade since Joe Flacco's been a good quarterback. He's capable of hot stretches, good games. He was awesome last Thursday night. Great story. No, I don't believe in Joe Flacco. Now, he makes him a little more watchable, a little more viable. They become a team you don't want to play. That's why Mike Tomlin was so mad at the Browns for trading him. I get all that, but no, I don't think this Browns team is making the playoffs. But I don't want to gloss over this. I want to hear your argument, Carolina, why you like the Panthers. What about this Panthers team that barely beat the Jets, who are like a
honestly, Frank, it is
at this point?
It's literally because I just moved to Charlotte and I'm just trying to fit in.
That's fair. I like their jerseys. I like the colors. Yeah, I represent them.
I'm at a 5K in the stadium. I'm drinking the Panthers Kool-Aid. I'm just trying to settle into my new city.
No, I don't live in Charlotte, so I can be the honest one. Their jerseys and their logos suck. Like of all the things, like Panthers and it's one of my least favorite in the NFL. It's one of the biggest lost opportunities. The cool things you could have done with Panthers, and that's what they picked. Let's get the next
not as bad as the
up
Jags
here.
Uniforms.
No, Jags are also terrible. Jags need to full rebrand when they move to London. Giants, Browns, Cardinals, Raiders. So apparently Frank doesn't believe in game control metrics like the College Football Playoff Committee does, because the Giants were in complete control of the entire game. They melt down. And then all of a sudden, you got a Giants team that should, if the Giants simply call one extra run instead of a pass, they beat the Broncos, who were your number 7 team. I'm back to that Denver thing. I'm just telling you, Frank, now you're underrating Jackson Dart. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, the Giants have come alive. I'll give you that. But not being able to close the door in that game, it matters. Like that happened too. Like you can't just say like, oh, look how good they were through 3 quarters. Oh, what out? Yeah, you just leave it to 4th. Yeah, like that's. I think we need to address that too. That you did give up 33 points in the 4th quarter somehow. So the Giants are another look. There's 3 teams in this set of 4 that are really feisty and good, and like I could like the Arizona
Wow.
Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett. I don't want to play them. I'd be happy if I'm playing the Cardinals this week and they're like, yeah, Kyler Murray's starting again. I'd be happy. I'm like, oh, good. Whew, I don't want to see Jacoby Brissett. And the Cardinals are better with Jacoby Brissett. Like that's the elephant in the room. Like everybody can see it. Like they should be starting Jacoby Brissett if they're being honest. And they won't. Gannon's just going to go back to Kyler and they're going to lose games. But on a week-to-week basis, Cardinals are good. The Browns are tough with that defense. The Giants have really come alive with Jackson Dart. And then there's the Raiders.
I don't want to talk about.
Is there a more frustrating? What was that, Fitz?
I don't want to talk about it. That's all.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't want to talk about my football team either.
I don't want to talk.
It's okay.
About it.
Is there a more frustrating team in the NFL than the Arizona Cardinals? They only
I know,
5
right?
games. They have lost those 5 games by a total of 13 points.
True, and that's very true. But I mean, you look back at their wins, and it was the Saints. Okay, the Saints stink. And at the Panthers, they beat the Panthers, who I guess are good. I guess they're good. Caroline, I don't know. Like no,
Mine.
Your
Carolina
Panthers.
Panthers.
Like
Lifelong Panthers fan as of 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much, Rico Dowdle.
There you go. But yes, the Cardinals are one of those teams where you're like, they just keep. They can't close the door on any of these games. They can't get Marvin Harrison really going. They can't, like, their running back room is decimated. Their defense, nothing about the Panther or about the Cardinals has been as good as it should be this season. The Cardinals were set to make like a jump, like the Seahawks did almost, and it just hasn't been there. And at some point, you do have to start worrying about Jonathan Gannon. If you take a step back this year, I don't know where the Cardinals' final record lies, but let's say it's 5-12. Like, and they're kind of on pace for that. You'd have to have a serious conversation about is Jonathan Gannon the right guy? Do we want to run this back with him next year?
All right, so then let's
bring it home.
At the bottom of your list. Yeah, let's bring the bottom of the list. Saints, Dolphins, Titans, Jets. Speaking of needing to have a tough conversation, I mean, if the Jets go winless, should Aaron Glenn come back?
I don't think they'll go winless. I really don't. Like, it's hard to go 0-17 in the NFL, but if you do go winless, yeah, you kind of had to have that conversation. I like Aaron Glenn. I just wrote about this this morning for NFL Panic Meter. Like, I like Aaron Glenn. I thought he was a good hire. I really respected what he did with the Lions. I like him coming from the Dan Campbell. All this stuff I could say about Aaron Glenn. What we've seen over the last 7 weeks has been absolutely miserable. That team has all the telltale signs of a poorly coached team. This whole quarterback fiasco has been weird of like, how dare you ask me if I bench Justin Fields? And he benches Justin Fields. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to ask other coaches what they think about benching Justin Fields. Like, what are we doing here, Aaron? And the problem I have with the Jets, the biggest problem I have with the Jets and Aaron Glenn right now is they're getting worse. We could go back and look at Dan Campbell's first year. Aaron Glenn was on that staff. Dan Campbell started 0-10-1. There are a lot of people like Dan Campbell might be fired after 1 year, right? Like, but the difference was the Lions were playing hard every week, playing well every week. They're competing. Every time I see the Jets this season, they're worse than the week before. It's amazing. It's astonishing. Like, how could you get worse than last week? Oh, you just did. Like, I don't know when the Jets win a game. They will. I think they will. I just don't. And here's the thing too about Aaron Glenn. We've seen the last 2 teams that drafted a quarterback number 1 overall. And right now, Jets have the worst record in football, and that might not change. You draft a quarterback first overall, but you don't change the coach. And then you regret it like a month into the season. The Jets have to be cognizant of that. They have to say, look, we need to be sure that Aaron Glenn is our guy going forward because we don't want to stick a number 1 pick quarterback with a lame duck coach who's just going to get fired halfway through the season, as happened with the Titans, as happened with the Bears. And I don't know that I can answer that yes with Aaron Glenn right now.
That's
before we let you go, Frank.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Caroline.
Quickly before I let you go, Dolphins, are they making a change anywhere?
I look around at that franchise, and I'm talking about the ownership box, the front office, the coaching staff, the roster. I count maybe like 6 or 7 guys who should be there in 2026. Like, literally hit the reset button, blow everything up, get rid of everybody, because that is a losing franchise. That is a absolutely positively miserable franchise. The same franchise that's 1-5, and they're like, how dare Tua say that guys need to be working harder? How dare he? He called us out publicly. Well, you should be called out publicly. You stink. You're terrible. You look like you quit against the Browns, but how dare anybody publicly criticize the Dolphins' effort, right? Like, so it's the same franchise that ran off Vic Fangio because he coached them too hard. He goes on to win a Super Bowl. It's a soft organization. It's a bad organization. I was stunned that Mike McDaniel wasn't fired. I was on Monday. And I was stunned that Tua Tagovailoa is going to be their quarterback this week. Honestly, he isn't playing at that level. Get rid of everybody. The Dolphins stink. They are terrible.
We could spend hours with Frank trying to figure out how to fix about, I don't know, a dozen teams in the NFL that all live in the sea of suck. Watch him on Inside Coverage. Check out the power rankings and all of his great writing at Yahoo Sports. Frank, thanks for the time this morning, buddy. Happy Tuesday. Happy Taco
Thank you,
Tuesday.
Frank.
Go get yourself a breakfast taco.
Oh, that sounds good. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, look at that. Frank doing
Thank
God's
you,
work.
Frank. Always appreciate you.
And coming on every week, even though all we do is trash his rankings. Number 1, Kansas City. Number 32, the Jets. No surprise, top riser. Didn't rise far enough, if you ask me. The Dallas Cowboys, top faller because he overreacted. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Carolina, I think that was a pretty good ranking overall from Frank. But we're really busting his you-know-what over the, number 14, 15, 16s on this. But, that's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun. And how wild is it that we live in a world in the NFL where the Chiefs are the best team in the league and the Jets are the worst? Isn't that crazy? Nobody saw that one coming. It is kind of wild how we'll go through, the course of several weeks and we think, okay, this team is broken. This team is fixed. Wild upsets and crazy wins and losses here and there. And then we end up in a world where everything's the same.